copies of the gazetted copy.
It's being distributed. Please proceed.
Okay. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I thank you for the opportunity to lead the debate on the general principles of the FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill 2025. The bill was read for the first time today, being Wednesday, 14th day of May 2025. The 2025 FCT Statutory Appropriation Bill seeks to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 1,783,823,708,392 naira only, of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, while the sum of 343,777,448 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,690,124,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for the financial year commencing from 1st of January and ending on 31st December of the year 2025. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the thrust of the FCT 2025 statutory budget proposal is to ensure an effective and enduring service-oriented administration for the completion of ongoing projects and the provision of effective services to the residents of the FCT. Highlights of the capital expenditure of FCT 2025 statutory appropriation bill. The total proposed FCT 2025 statutory appropriation is 1,803,828,392 naira, out of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 280,527,373,668 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,690,124,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Mr. President, very distinguished senators, emphasis has been placed on the completion of ongoing projects, particularly those with high impact on the provision of services and infrastructure to the residents of the Federal Capital Territory. However, a few new projects that are considered absolutely necessary have also been included in the budget proposal. Mr. President, most distinguished colleagues, I urge you all to give this bill an expeditious passage into law. I thank you, and may God bless you.
I remain Senator Peter Onyekachi Ebonyi with the golden crown of Ebonyi Senatorial Zone of Ebonyi State. Mr. President, I rise to support this bill And I'm doing that considering what I can describe as total infrastructural transformation that is ongoing in FCT today. It therefore requires the cooperation of the Parliament to enable the Honorable Minister, Pro-Wike, to continue his good works. Mr. President, digesting further the budgetary provision, we can see that much provisions are made for the infrastructure development of the capital city, which is the citadel of power for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Another area I would like to use this medium to draw the attention of the FCT Minister is the people living within the Abuja airport. Mr. President, I want the FCT Minister to extend his infrastructure development of the city within the surroundings of the Abuja airport. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, if you are descending into Abuja airport, the inhabitants, the type of infrastructure within the environs, Your Excellency, does not represent the good image of this country. And I think that the FCT Minister should capture in their next budget, if not incorporated in this, to either relocate the inhabitants of the people within the airport or renew the area, at least, because that is the mirror of the country as we are descending into Abuja airport. Some of us, if you take into account to view the environs of the airport while descending into Abuja, you will agree with me, Excellency, there is an eyesore. It doesn't give good image of the nation, and I think something has to be done about it. So I urge all my colleagues to support this all-important bill, all geared towards transforming completely the FCT of Nigeria. Thank you.
So, which part of the, you are coming from the airport?
If you are descending,
the first place you see.
If you are descending.
Let's take it gently.
Yes, Excellency.
The first place you see on the right, flyover.
Yes, Excellency.
Which is almost like a boulevard. You understand? And you now descend towards the road that comes to the airport. Then when you get to the airport road, you now see 8 lanes,
yes,
complete with street lights.
Yes, Excellency.
Particularly in the night, very beautiful.
Yes, Excellency.
And all that. So, which part gives you cramps in your stomach?
It's the shanties within the back of the airport, Yes, Excellency.
Is that a plane?
Yes, Excellency.
That is somebody's village. Oh.
Yes, Excellency. But it's within the capital territory. No, there is no how. If you are landing,
the owners of that village, those are their houses. That's what they can afford. But are you saying that we should go to those villages and evacuate them so that when your plane is coming down, we'll see high rises?
Your Excellency.
No, I want to understand.
Yes, Your Excellency.
We are talking about when you look out of the window.
Yes, Your Excellency.
You want to see beautiful Chinese infrastructure.
Yes, Your Excellency.
That is what that place belongs to people.
Your Excellency, this is a capital territory of Nigeria, and we are talking of the image of the nation.
Starts with when your plane is descending.
Your Excellency.
And then you look at what happens in a place like Akpoti-Uduaghan. When you descend, you see water. And you see creeks. So we should eliminate the creeks and cliffs.
No, Your Excellency.
So that it will not spoil your eyes.
Your Excellency.
That is the image of the nation.
Your Excellency, everybody that uses Abuja airport will agree with me, sir. But the issue is, what do we do? What do we do?
Use Abuja airport. Do you agree with him? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. So there is a lot of disagreement. This is with Abiro.
I like to know my brother. Delta. Ned. God bless Mr. President. We didn't see him yesterday, so we're happy to see him today. Sir, I just want to say that in your absence yesterday, on a latter note, I spoke to Mingi.
Thank you.
And my brother from Anambra. I said loneliness is not good at old age. So as if you heard me, and your sympathy for the lonely is very well appreciated.
and I hope they can take advantage of what is going on to cure themselves of loneliness. But as for the main issue, and I thank you for indulging me, I believe, sir, that all of us who have lived in this city for quite some time will agree that talking about doing things differently, this is what the current FCT minister is doing. We are seeing more action everywhere. And we all know that you cannot have a beautiful omelette unless you break some nice eggs. So you need budgetary support to sustain the infrastructural development that we have seen. And I am also aware, going around, that areas that have been neglected in the past, where the natives or low-density areas, the current minister is extending infrastructure to those areas. The last point I want to make about illegal settlement. I've always told Mr. President that when you travel around the other countries, you have high-profile buildings, you have low-profile buildings. When people talk of Soweto, I used to think that Soweto was one slum. But I found that that is where Mandela lived, two bedrooms, but the area is well paved, allocation of the land is given, and so on. I think the poor can be accommodated with correct infrastructure, water, healthcare, education in those areas, and it's properly planned, and they can locate and live there peacefully. Let's not have Morocco in Lagos where the poor live, they don't have infrastructure. Where the rich live is what we see. I think that the minister is moving towards those direction. They can find a way to regularize and prevent more slums from developing around Abuja. Mr. President, thank you very much for this privilege to speak.
But we must know that the FCT is exploding in terms of population, and so we should plan for schools, we should plan for healthcare, and we should also plan for water and sanitation, so that in future we don't turn some areas into slums. So the point is education, yes, I said so. Schools, healthcare, sanitation, and the basic infrastructure, and even light. Because light can also be a major deterrent to criminality. So we must take all those components together as the FCT is expanding. So even in areas that are not currently occupied, we should plan for healthcare there, knowing very well that in future population will come. We should plan for schools there, so we don't just keep building and there's no school close to the residents. And of course the healthcare system on its own. So this is Senator Nengi.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of the highlights of this administration poverty initiative could be seen practically in the FCT. The city is beginning to look like an urban city of the 21st century Africa. And one of the reasons why we are seeing this development is because of a personality, Mr. President, borrowed from our own party to come and give the best. Mr. President, you also recalled, you are also a product of our party, and you are doing very, very, very well. And that is what PDP is all about. We produce. And therefore,
yes, point of order.
And therefore,
point of order.
The infrastructure development.
Point of order.
The infrastructure development.
Senator Karimi. Point of order. Senator Ningi, what will be it? Point of order. Senator Karimi, very quickly.
As I explained it.
This is Senator Karimi. You are now ruled out of order. Yes,
Mr. President, for all intent and purposes, we have seen the revolutionary infrastructure taking place. And all we need to do as the State House of Assembly of the FCT is to keep on tracking revenues tracking revenues and the utilization of those revenues. And then Senator Alero had also made mention, and Abiru, on the issues of extending these legacies to other areas of concern, particularly education and security. It is imperative by the time the FCT minister spent his 4 years here, I am sure this city will remember the very fundamental work that he has done. But however, I have not seen a very clear oversight of the FCT by this chamber, and we need to do it more. We need to encourage the minister more. We need to work with him. He needs to carry us along. We need to understand the perspective. But so far, he has done so well, excellently well, and we wish him good luck in whatever he's trying to do to achieve in the FCT. We are all part of this city, and I'm sure Nigerians will remember the very good 2 years he has spent. Over the last 8 years of APC from 2015 to 2023, we have not seen any development, but the man has come and has conquered. I so submit.
Well, let me join Senator, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, for his doggedness in developing the FCT. I believe strongly that the President has done well, just like Senator Ningi observed, that in the last 2 years of his administration, FCT has changed, and so it will need support. I don't, everybody that wants to speak will speak in that direction, because even the blind can see, because the potholes have disappeared from many of the roads in the FCT. So I thank you for your bipartisan approach to debate, because you made mention of the fact that even the Minister of FCT was or is from one of the factions of your party. So I don't know which faction is performing the magic, but we are impressed. So on that note, I think we have brought the discussion to a close. Senator Jovita, if you want to make an observation.
As I've said, that the Federal Capital Territory is wearing a very transformed outlook. The roads are beautiful, infrastructure has been upscaled in terms of delivery. I commend the FCT minister for his work in the area council areas, because Abuja is not only the highways reply within the city. If you go to the suburbs, you see that a lot of work is being done to open up these areas with roads and other necessary infrastructure. But with this opportunity I've given to me, Mr. President, I want to speak as a land economist, land resource economist. I'm an estate surveyor and valuer. I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. I want to speak on something that has been worrying me, which is the high cost of land in the FCT. Lands have become so exorbitant. And last year, when we debated the bill, I pointed out that the only way we can bring high cost of land down is by opening up new areas. Abuja is planned in a concentric circle. From the center, we will develop outwards. There are so many layouts in Abuja that have been allocated to individuals, but infrastructures have not been provided those places. That is what is making the prices of land to be very high. For example, even Senator Alero, when he was Minister of the FCT, he handled the allocation of Maitama 2 and other areas. We have Gusape 2. We have other areas that are adjoining the major areas where the development started. It will be good in this budget. I've seen the infrastructural budget, 1.2 trillion. It will be good if the Minister of the FCT takes note of the urgent need to provide services, infrastructure services to the adjoining areas, Maitama 2, Uguzakpe 2, and areas like that around the FCT. So that when the roads are provided in those areas and water and other infrastructure are laid, the prices of land will come down because more land will be available for people to build in the FCT. So I join my colleagues in commending the FCT minister that he has been very transformational. His appointment is giving the desired result in terms of infrastructure delivery, because we live in Abuja here. We drive around, we enjoy the roads, very well laid out roads, well laid out schemes. But until we begin to make land cheaper and available to the residents, the high cost of land will continue to be a barrier to development here in the FCT. So I thank you very much, Mr. President, and I want to say that when we look at the budget breakdown, by the time it gets to the committees, we'll be able to seek those areas that are needing infrastructure, so that money should be put in those areas. Let those areas open up. Maitama 2, Asokoro extension and the Guzakpe extension, if we open them up with good roads, sewage and water, land will become available. The idea where somebody will be selling a plot of land, 10 billion naira in Abuja, is atrocious. 10 billion naira for a small plot of land in Amaitama or Asokoro is misapplication of resources. So let's open more land and let the FCT minister continue with his aggressive development of the surrounding cities, Jukoi, Mararaba, Buhari, Wawaraba, all those areas. If we make them good, you can come to Abuja within 40 minutes, to the center, within 40 minutes from those places. So the pressure on accommodation and everything will be reduced when these things are done. So I thank you very much. I've spoken as a land resource economist, and I believe Mr. Minister of the FCT will listen to this suggestion. Thank you very much.
Please. A bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Federal Capital Territory Administration's Statutory Revenue Fund of the Federal Capital Territory Administration account the total sum of 1,823,808,392 naira only, of which the sum of 150,353,906,168 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 343,679,677,448 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 1,289,690,124,776 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja for the financial year commencing from 1st day of January and ending on the 31st day of December 2025. Second reading read. Bill is now referred to the Committee on Federal Capital Territory in collaboration with the Committee on Federal Capital Territory Area Council and ancillary matters to revert to the Senate in 1 week. Leader of the Senate.
Representing the good people of